diversifying a tourism-heavy economy. Tourism drives roughly 80 to 85% of the island's GDP. And where do you see AI opening brand new revenue streams that aren't dependent on visitor numbers?
So, well, one initial point is for me the whole thing about tourism being the driver of 80+% of our GDP is something that personally, like, ever since I was a teenager, didn't really sit right with me. I mean, the reality is what it is, but I think we should, like, just from a high level, go back to a place where less of our GDP is dependent on tourism, because COVID showed us exactly what could happen if our borders suddenly shut down and we are not able to like sustain ourselves in terms of food and other forms of income that are not dependent on visitors, right? But since the reality is what it is, and again over these last few weeks I've started like, well, the event I have coming up is directly related to tourism. So it's a whole bunch of accommodation owners. The agency is called the Community Tourism Agency. So they get grants for like local accommodation owners to expand their Airbnbs and so on. So I'm going to be speaking to them about how they can use AI and automation solutions to, again, reach that international standard. So I've just been thinking about that a lot in the last couple of weeks, and I realized that there's a lot of things that are being done right now in the tourism industry that are kind of, a few years behind. So we could kind of bring a lot of these tourism businesses up to speed and really like use the technology to accelerate the standard, to bring up the standard. And that's one thing I'm working heavily with. I'm working with a business consultant who, this is his main work. He's like the main person responsible for standards of operating in St. Lucia. So he's working with these businesses to get them certified and to just help them bring up their operations. And so that area is an area I see that there's a huge opportunity to make an impact, because if I'm successfully able to help them, that could change the entire landscape of tourism on the island as we know it. So yeah, that's one of the areas I see. It's just really helping them with operational efficiency and hitting that international standard on a consistent basis.